Today we're going to do something a little bit unusual, and we're going to cook snails or escargot together. I'm going to tell you, show you, help you realize snails are a delicacy, and they really are very delicious. Stay with me. Let's get into snails. Snails have been around since Greek, Roman, probably before that. And they would eat them, everybody would eat them. It was a common food. They are delicious, especially when prepared correctly, and pretty nutritious also. So it's not a bad food. The French came along and took the snails, called them escargot, and really elevated them into what probably a lot of people think they're out of touch. They're not able to access snails. But snails is actually a very, very easy food, and it doesn't take much time at all. So here are our burgundy snails, and this whole contraption costs something like $14 at World Market. And you can often pick up the snails for less prices. And I even found snails at the Asian store for like $3 or something for a 10 of 12 or 24. And everything else here has been in my family for a long time. And all of this is not absolutely necessary, but we're going to go over what you could possibly have. So the first thing you would need, and you don't truly even need these, is the shell. And like I said, you can get this whole pack for one price, and you keep these shells and you just keep reusing them. You can pick up something like this. These are ceramic shells. Yeah, look at that. They're like little ceramic shells. Again, these are not needed. When I bought these, the box says they were $1.15 each, and I bought a dozen of them. It's been a little while, but you can often pick these up at, like cheaper antique stores and things like that. And then you have the clasp. These are not needed, but they are very helpful because you grab the shell in them and then you scoop out the meat, the snail, out of the shell. And again, you don't need them, but here is like this is technically a fondue fork, but you can use this fork and you dig out the snail out of there. Or you could just use a smaller fork. This is, not even sure exactly what this fork is supposed to be for, but this is a much smaller fork with, as you can see, like 2 tines. We don't need exact forks anymore in this day and age for every entree and course in our 29-course dinner, because we don't have 29 courses dinners anymore. And the toppings is the easiest thing in the world. You know what you're going to put on it? Butter. You can also add some onion powder. This is just great value onion powder. Also some garlic. This is from Gilroy, California. They call this garlic dew dust, and it's just garlic, just powdered garlic. And I'm going to use some of that. You can use any garlic that you have. Obviously, fresh garlic is fine. Raw garlic, that you buy in the cloves is fine. I'm going to melt the butter. So what is the history of snails? Snails have been around since prehistoric times, where prehistoric humans ate these. These are a great source of protein, and let's see. So we have 0 carbs, 0 fiber, 0 sugar, protein 9 grams, calcium 20%, iron 6%, and 15 pieces are approximately 45 calories. So it's actually it's a health food. Obviously the calories come in when you use a whole stick of butter. But snails are they were taken over in ancient Rome, and the fancy people would eat snails at all their gatherings and parties, and that's kind of where it's kind of came up as that gourmet food. But snails are pretty much a peasant food, and it's just how we prepare them. These are eaten all over the world, not just in France. Spain makes stews. India, Pakistan, they make a kind of a stew with paprika. So there's lots of different ways. So this can has about 30 snails. So 2 people for dinner with a salad and crusty bread, or 1 person if they're hungry like me, or you could have several people eat it as just like an appetizer, 6 per person or something. So yeah, so this is snails and we're going to make them. And I'm not being ironic, this is a health food and it's not terribly bougie anymore. I'm going to show you how I prepare them and how I eat them. So we're gonna go to the stove. The first thing to do when cooking anything is not set the house on fire. I have a very hot pan here, and I'm going to put in half a stick of butter. In it goes, and this is going to, see how hot my pan was? It shouldn't be quite that hot, but I'm going to melt this butter down really quick. I'm going to turn down my stove temperature. As that comes to a melt, I'm going to add garlic, a little bit of onion. Come a little closer. Don't look at my dirty stove. So I have melted down half a stick of butter, and I'm going to add garlic, and I'm going to add onion, dehydrated onion, yeah I know, into the melted butter. I'm not cooking the spices, I'm toasting them in the butter. And that's going to be enough. Now we're going to add our snails. And it's just a little flip top. How easy is that? Going to pop it up. Woo! And this is what it looks like inside. It's a little gray. I'm not gonna lie, it's a little gray. I'm going to just do I just quickly let out some of the extra juices, and this is a snail. Now we're going to pop the snails in here. My goal is not to cook them, my goal is to just gently heat them through. Yep, and that's it. So now I just have slightly warm snails and a very hot butter, onion, garlic mixture. So now we're going to put them together. All right, we have our snails. And again, we're going to use our little contraption here to grab them. I let these sit for a little bit. Coming right out of the oven is actually quite hot. All right, so we just pull out the snail. It's such a unique but familiar flavor, especially with, of course, all the garlic and butter, which is delicious. You know, there's nothing wrong with garlic and butter. But it's kind of a cross between a really tender like steak and, God, it's so hard to describe the taste of a snail. A really tender steak, maybe a venison steak, like a really tender one, have a little bit of that gaminess, plus a hint of like the luxurious feel of a lobster. It's kind of how I don't know, that's kind of how I'm explaining it. But I'm just curious if you like snails, have you tried snails? As I said earlier, these are not that expensive. They really aren't, and they are quite delicious. And if you know how to eat escargot, and you ever go to a dinner party that has escargot, or the Grove in LA, you can order these and know what you're getting. I love these. I don't make them nearly enough. This is a wonderful holiday food. Maybe not Thanksgiving dinner, because, you know, whatever. But holiday party, Christmas Eve. Oh, it'd be fantastic for Christmas Eve with a glass of champagne or a glass of sparkling apple cider. So, and a nice crusty loaf of bread and maybe a brie cheese with fig jam baked into it. Oh my God, that is so freaking delicious. And none of this is really truly expensive, and none of this is out of your reach. All of this is just fun things that you should know about. So again, thank you so much for stopping by and eating escargot with me. We are going to continue eating these, and I hope you have a fantastic Thanksgiving, Christmas, whatever holiday you celebrate, or if you don't, just a winter time with your family and friends, and have a fantastic New Year's. I know it's a little early to say that, but eating escargot gets me in the New Year's vibes. Thank you. Bye-bye.